from another attack. And since that time, you have done just that. The royal officers look questionably at John as he continues. It's as if he's going off script. Rawl turns to Mish. Continued, 42. Rawl, whispering, this is what we get for hiring an outsider to speak for us. Mish nods in agreement. John, can't. And although the Grey invaders were defeated, we are fully aware that the Confederation is still technically at a state of war. So it's reasonable that some enhancements to existing law are necessary in order to keep the Confederation safe. However, there may be some question as to how far these laws should go. Xenu lifts his hand, motioning to speak. Xenu, may I have a rebuttal? John, of course, your supremacy. Xenu, the laws that I passed are totally in line with the Galactic Constitution and completely necessary to maintain the safety of the people. John, but some have argued that your recent executive order, the Galactic Security Act, gives the government too much latitude to monitor the private communications of citizens as well as raising an already high taxation rate. Xenu contemptuously smirks. Xenu, untrue. We know through intelligence that marauding Greys have captured humans, brainwashed them and placed them back into society for use as sleeper agents. Therefore, it is necessary to monitor private, more, continued, 43. Xenu, can't d, communications in order to prevent such activity. John, yes, this is true and has been reported as such in the media. Rawl glares at the exchange. He's visibly becoming more agitated with passing each word. Xenu, additionally, these programs must be funded. Increased taxes are the only way to maintain them. So you see, these measures are needed. And anyone who opposes them flirts with treason. Rawl abruptly jumps up from his chair. He briskly approaches the rostrum. The audience focuses in on him. Rawl, enough. John grabs Rawl by the shoulder. A rather brazen thing to do to a loyal officer. John, you can't do this. I'm the designated speaker for the loyal officers. Rawl pushes John. He falls to the floor. Rawl shakes his head no as he peers down at him. Gasps come from the audience. Rawl, yes, I can. And you're fired. Rawl turns at the royal officers. Rawl, can't. The Confederation was founded on the principles of liberty. The actions of the executive branch have brought it to the brink of becoming a police state. And it must stop here, now. I motion to repeal every executive order passed by Xenu in the last 10 years. Do I have your votes on this motion? The loyal officers take the voting devices in their hands and press the buttons. Continued, 44. The massive holographic vote tally scoreboard reads, motion passed. Rawl, can't. I also motion to enact impeachment proceedings against Xenu and his entire cabinet. Do I have your votes on this motion? Gasps fill the hall. The loyal officers look hesitant, unsure. After a tense beat, the vote reads, motion passed. Then Rawl addresses the entire audience. Rawl, can't. The motions have passed. We will reconvene at the appointed time for the lawful proceedings of impeachment. As duly head of the loyal officers, I hereby declare this Congress concluded. Xenu looks utterly stunned. His face pale. He drops his cane and slumps in the chair. Commotion fills the hall. Ext Great Hall, day, continuous as the multitudes exit the Great Hall, Rawl stands by himself. He gazes at the capital city skyline in the distance. Lady Min sees him. She walks to him and they embrace. Min, you were wonderful. Rawl, thanks. Ready to go home? Min, yes. They walk arm in arm to an Airbus and enter. The Airbus lifts off. Standing on the staircase is a soldier of the Galactic Defense Force. He discreetly observes the Airbus fly away. Continued, 45. GDF soldier, into COMM device, they just left for the spaceport. Chi, OS, I want to know the minute they leave the planet. GDF soldier yes sir. Int. Xenu's office, day the door busts open. Kicked so hard it almost come off its hinges. Xenu hastily enters the room, face red with rage. Chi and Stai follow keeping a good distance away. Xenu picks up a vase on the table and smashes it against the wall. Other objects follow. Chi and Stai wearily watch this outburst with cautious curiosity. Then Xenu stops, slowly composes himself. He makes his way to the conference table and sits. He motions for Chi and Stai to do the same. Xenu a minor setback gentlemen. Soon Raul will be dead. And my plan will be in full motion. Chi he will be dead. I've seen to that. But I never thought he would bring impeachment proceedings. Beat, the whole operation's in jeopardy now. Xenu slyly glances at Stai. A smirk grows on his lips. Xenu a minor setback like I said. Doctor, I believe it's time to show Chi our little secret. Stai I agree your eminence. Continued, 46. Chi secret? Xenu get ready Chi, we're going on a trip. Int. Teegeeak 1, passenger area. Raul looks out into deep space, he seems preoccupied. Min places her hand on his leg. Min, what's on your mind? Raul, I'm thinking we should celebrate. I'm going to declare today an official holiday. Min, we can throw a party at the palace. Raul agrees. Mish, sounds like fun. Raul nods yes and looks back out the window. He notices the stars, they seem strange. Then the ship starts to rattle. Teegeeak 1, Space Teegeeak 1 exits a light fissure and comes to an abrupt stop. Int. Teegeeak 1, Cockpit 2 pilots check the controls. Pilot number 1, the hyperdrive's down. We're dead in the water. Raise Teegeeak and let them know what's going on. Pilot number 2, roger that. Continued, 47. The first pilot flips a toggle switch as the second pilot sends out the hail. Pilot number 1, into COMM device, attention delegates, the ship's experiencing some hyperdrive difficulty. It should be fixed in a few minutes. Hold tight in the meantime. Pilot number 2, I'm trying to raise Teegeeak. But the signal's not getting through. Pilot number 1, subspace interference? Pilot number 2, I don't think so. It's almost like we're being jammed locally. Then the lights flicker. The cabin goes dark. Teegeeak 1, space, another fissure opens. A Galactic Defense Force ship races out and targets Teegeeak 1. Int. Teegeeak 1, passenger area. Raul sees what's happening outside. Raul, we're under attack. He jumps out of his chair. Teegeeak 1, space, the GDF ship cuts loose a stream of plasma fire. Teegeeak 1 is hit hard. Int. Teegeeak 1, passenger area. Sparks fly in the cabin. Raul is knocked over hard. Pandemonium ensues, sparks fly. 48 Teegeeak 1, space, the GDF ship launches another salvo. Plasma fire slams into the ship. Int. Teegeeak 1, passenger area. A large section of the hull blows out. An instant vacuum pulls dozens of delegates into space. Raul pushes some buttons. A force field activates. The hull is sealed for the moment. Mish makes his way to Raul. Raul, Min? Mish, she's all right. Raul, we've got to get to the cockpit before they make another pass. They knock passengers over as they rush to the cockpit door. They kick it open. Int. Teegeeak 1, cockpit. Raul and Mish look at the pilots, dead. The ship controls are smashed. They throw the pilots out of the chairs and hop in. Raul scans the console. It's dead. Raul, the hyperdrive's still offline. We'll have to ignite the fuel and fly manually. Mish, what happens when it all burns up? We'll be dead in space again. Raul quickly glances at a screen on his arm. He pushes some buttons. Raul, there's a planet 20 clicks from our position. It's our best shot. Mish got it. Continued, 49. Rawl, let's hope it's got an atmosphere, okay, punch it. Mish punching. Mish pushes the button that will ignite the fuel. Ext Teegeeak 1, space, continuous. We follow Teegeeak 1 as its thrusters fire up. Like a meteor, it streaks towards the planet. The GDF ship makes its turn to pursue. It speeds up and fires again, missing. Int. Teegeeak 1, cockpit. The cockpit rattles violently. Plasma fire streaks by the forward viewport. Min and AP enter the cockpit. Rawl bellows out. Rawl, we're going down. Ext planet all tech, atmosphere. The two ships plunge into the atmosphere. Teegeeak 1 veers off to the left, right. It twirls as it dodges incoming fire. Int. Teegeeak 1, cockpit. The tree line is visible through the viewport. Rawl, prepare for a crash landing. They brace for impact. Ext Teegeeak 1, jungle. Teegeeak 1 slams into the jungle. Tree branches rip apart as the ship descends. The ship collides with the ground with an ear-splitting crash. 50 Ext Xenu's ship, space. Xenu's ship glides silently through space. It approaches a planet. The planet's ugly charcoal-colored atmosphere is faintly illuminated by a distant dwarf star. Int. Xenu's ship, cockpit. Inside the cockpit, the three men gaze at the monstrous world as it nears. Xenu turns to Chi. Xenu, welcome to planet Ton. Chi. Ext Xenu's ship, Ton's atmosphere. The ship enters the atmosphere. Poking through swirling dark clouds. It approaches the surface. Ext Xenu's ship, Ton's surface. In the distance, we close in on a lone mountain. It jutes out of the bleak desert like a foreboding castle. Int. Xenu's ship, cockpit. Kai's eyes bug out as mountain looms ever larger on the forward port. Chi, what is this place? Xenu, impressive, isn't it? I call it Mount Xenu. Inside that mountain is the last remains of a very ancient and advanced civilization. Chi looks genuinely impressed. Chi, who were they? Xenu, we believe they were called alienist. They apparently controlled much of the galaxy eons ago. Continued, 51. Then Chi looks out a side window as the ship circles the mountain. At the base of the mountain is a military camp. Thousands of spaceships, including the captured Grey Fleet, are parked. In another area, thousands of GDF soldiers march in formation. Chi looks back to the forward viewer. The ship is about to collide with the mountain. Chi, can't. Sir, we're about to crash. Ext Xenu's ship, Mount Xenu. A hole slides opens in the mountainside, allowing Xenu's ship to enter. Int. Xenu's ship, cockpit. Xenu lets out a laugh as Chi continues to panic. Int. Mount Xenu. The ship flies down a dark corridor. It hovers for a moment, then makes a descent, landing on a platform. The ship's hatch opens. The men exit and are met by a crew of GDF soldiers. GDF officer, welcome back, Your Excellency. Xenu, the situation has changed. We will commence with Operation Ramrod at once. Are the ships ready? GDF officer, yes, they are ready on your command. Xenu, very good. You may commence. The officer bows his head and bolts off. He speaks into his wrist COMM device. 52 Ext Mount Xenu. The captured Grey ship's engines start. One by one the ships float up into the air and leave the planet's atmosphere. Ext planet Ton, orbit. Fissures of light open before the Grey ships. The ships disappear into the fissures. Ext planet Altair, Grey Fleet. The peaceful backwater world of Altair